All right, I think we're up. Good morning, good morning. Thanks for the info on the update. I hadn't seen that at all. I would have thought maybe there would be an update emailed from them or something. Perhaps there has been. I don't know. No idea. I'll have a look. Okay, I was going to switch the camera to the other view this morning outside, but I can't do that. You can see by the shadows there, the angle of the sun. We're just at the worst time of year. I can't point the camera any other direction because the light comes directly straight into the camera. Don't update OBS yet, but you said the deadline is February 28th, okay? All right, so living dangerously, are we? Are they? Good morning, good morning. Okay, whatever, the desk is just exactly where I left it with these little prints are still sitting here on top of the desk. I haven't, whatever, the last few days have been. It's been busy. It's been busy. Get the desktop back in order here. Okay, paper is out. Suga-san is here today. She's working on one of the woodblock pilgrimage prints. It's just Suga-san today. She's been off for the past week. Her husband's father is ill. He's got heart issues. He's in and out of hospital. And a couple of weeks ago, he got the virus as well. So Suga-san's been really careful. Last time she was here was a week or so ago. Then they went to the hospital to visit the guy, and she felt it before coming back here. So she got a test yesterday, a negative test. So she's here printing today. She's being really, really careful. She's worried about me, this old guy here, and if he catches the virus, what's going to happen? So she's been really careful, really super careful. So far we're all okay. Aoyama-san did. He went down with it, some months back. He's come out of it. I don't know if he's got any long-term stuff, but we've been pretty clear of it so far. Okay, before I clean up and get to today's work, a tiny bit of recap. I better get the camera light sorted out. Just a sec. The camera. Adjust light balance here. Okay. Just at the end of last stream, I was opening these Senshafta packets and stuff like that. And I found inside one of the packages, we found this little object, which I announced was, wow, it's a toothpick made with a woodblock print wrapper. I was right on the woodblock print part. I wasn't right on the toothpick. It's not a toothpick, and I should have known what this was, actually. It's not like I've never been to Japan before. And I think nobody contradicted me. It's not a toothpick. And in fact, the shape tells you what this is, the shape of the little piece of wood that's inside. It actually does work as a toothpick, the other end of it, but no, this is kuromoji. And I don't know why they're called kuromoji. It literally means black character. I don't know, maybe it's the name of the tree that it comes out of, I don't know. And what this is you get these if you're, not just a tea ceremony, if you're in a nice okashiya, if you're at a place getting a tea and cake or something, like the Japanese equivalent of an afternoon tea. In England it's cream bun and tea, whatever. In Japan it's a little wagashi and some green tea. And of course you get the little tiny wooden knife to slice your little treat with. You've got your wagashi, your little treat made with mochi or whatever, and this is a knife to slice and to pick it up with. It's called a kuromoji. I didn't know there was a name for them. I've learned that in the past few days. But it's the same thing. So it's still woodblock printed with a gradation at the bottom. And we can read it. It's negishi. And it seems to be kyo-maru. Although some of the people here feel that this should be read as higashi-maru. And I don't think so. I think it's kyo-maru. And on the back of it, we have the name of the place that presumably made them. And it's Otsu-do, which Otsu is the name of a village near Kyoto. So I think this has come from Kyoto, even though it says negishi. Anyway, before we put it away, it's kind of a unique item in our collection, and it wasn't a toothpick as I had instantly guessed. Sorry about that. Now I'm running out of space to put this stuff. Just a minute here, let me clean up. This stuff's all here exactly as I left it on whatever day it was. Okay, it is going to be a slow, peaceful, quiet stream today. I am zonked. The last few days has been extremely busy for me. which means two things. It means one, I'm tired, and two, I haven't had specific time to prepare any specific work. So the work I'm going to do today, I'm going to pick up exactly where we left off on Saturday. We opened a box of Great Wave prints, and I put the embossing on them, and today Cameron has been sending out, over the past few days, Cameron has been sending out notifications. Your wave is here, finally. People are going ape, and they are waiting for their prints. So my job today, in the middle of 100 other things, is to get the chiri pulled out of these waves and get them on their way to Ome. This is going to be part of the show and tell. Oh, and there's more prints. There's more prints. They will have to wait. They will just have to wait. This is for Patreon people. It is our, I guess it's okay to show you. Actually, yeah, okay, I can show you this because there's something special happening here. These are the Nenga prints that go to our Patreon supporters at a certain level. And we're printing them in batches of about 100 each. And the printers this year, Rei-chan did a batch, this is her batch, and Ishikawa-san did a batch, she did a batch. And this is not going to go into our catalog for sale. These are gift prints to the people who've been supporting us on Patreon. And because of this, the girls said, like, when I put my sample down on the table, both of them said, do you really want that color? And I'm like, well, I sort of wanted that color. But I realized that this is a chance. These are objects not for sale. These are gift prints. Rei-chan had her idea about the coloring. Ishikawa-san had her idea about the coloring. And I said, why not? Let's go for it. The original from the Watanabe era. This is a Watanabe published print before the war on a design by Hasui. And if you look this up over on ukiyo-e.org, if you go to ukiyo-e.org, ukiyo/-e.org, and if you type in the search term water mill, 2 words, water mill, this print will come up. Many versions of this print, all put out by the Watanabe company. There's blue ones, green ones, brown ones, there's ones upside down, you name it. They didn't make any attempt to keep a consistent color palette. And they were selling this as an actual Hasui print. So I thought, this is a perfect chance for us. It's not going to go in the catalog yet. It will go in the catalog later, and at some point I will decide that this is the one I want to go in the catalog. But right now, these are gifts for our Patreon prints. Rei-chan, which one? This one. Rei-chan wanted this color palette. She made these, kept it consistent. Ishikawa said, look, I'd rather use a purple. I'm like, go for it. This is our perfect chance to do this. If the printers, if I dictate everything to the printers right down to the last little grain, their job becomes just robotic. We've got to give them some freedom to enjoy their work and express themselves. This is a perfect chance to do that. And please don't start saying, okay, please, when you send me mine, make it the blue one, make it the purple one. I cannot look at such comments. I cannot look at such things. Teiko-san, over in Kawagoe, the girl who used to do print parties, she will be mailing these, and she's going to put them in envelopes and put labels on, and I've done, no. Outside audio is loud. That's easy to fix. Outside audio is now minus 22 dBs. It's going down to minus 36 dBs. Let me know if you want it changed even more. I am not going to pay any attention to those requests. Period. 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 Actually, neither of these is my choice. The color palette that I gave them and the balance that I gave them, neither of these is my choice. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But it's fun working with a bunch of people upstairs. You know, you give them a block, I do some sizing on the paper, and away they go. And a few days later, they come back with this. It's just like magic. What was that old story we heard? When we were kids, there was a story. It was something like the shoemaker and the elves or something. I forget. This old workman and his wife were having trouble, whatever, and they couldn't keep up with their work. So every night, like, the elves came out to do the job, right? Something. That's what I feel like, you know. There's this group of people upstairs, they just do the stuff and dump it on my desk, and I'm like, this is magic. Okay, before I can start the job of pulling bark off the prints, I need a sharp knife. When's the last time this was used? Okay, lots of questions here. I see lots of questions. Someone said an azurie. I think you mean aizurie. And in fact, the one we did for our Japanese New Year cards, the ones we sent out here in Japan, were basically an aizurie, blue printing. What are my thoughts on other kinds of printing? Lino cut. No, I have no knowledge, no experience. I know nothing about that sort of thing whatsoever. I really don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not the guy to ask. You know, I'm not a knowledgeable printmaker in terms of any other kind of printing, Western printing or whatever. Just I haven't had much interest in it, so I've never tried it, so I don't know. I'm sorry. Someone says, is it a lower kind of printing, lower skill? It's just different, I think. I don't know. So sorry, I just don't know. Someone's trying to call on Skype. No can do. No can do. It's Jed Sunny wants to talk about designs. So I think Jed will be joining us here in a moment. Morning, Jed-san. Sketches for number 6 for the March, May, June. Sketches for the June prints. Kana? Yeah, the February. Did you get your February prints then? Jed-san, did they arrive? Oh no, they're probably in the box. They're in the next FedEx box. So you haven't got your February prints yet. I'm sorry. But so much good feedback, Jed-san. So much. I mean, it's a home run. Absolute home run. Jed-san, the people in the chat here have also, they've seen the designs for the April print because I prepared the block set here. Kawasaki-san is, actually she's finished it. She said we'll get it here tomorrow. So Kawasaki-san has finished carving it, but the chat people here saw me paste it down. So they know what the design is for the April set. Someone's talking about ukiyo-e heroes here, the next ukiyo-e heroes print. It's pasted onto the wood, ready for carving, just nobody has got time for it. It's pasted down, part of the design is here. Jed sent this to me quite a long time ago. This would be our 18th Ukiyo-e Heroes print, but I really have no idea when I would ever get time for it. Don't know. In fact, this is the 10th anniversary this year. This summer will be the 10th anniversary of the Ukiyo-e Heroes series coming live. It was summer of 2012 when the series came alive. And yeah, that's a nice design, and lots of people would want it. And there's only 24 hours in a day. Or there isn't 24 hours in a day, unfortunately. Can't be helped. Can't be helped. We are getting there, though. You know, with Jed's. I don't know how much you guys know about the background of this, but if you hear on Jed's website, there's woodblock prints there that are not all made by Mokuhankan. There's now, how many people, Jed? 5 different people making prints on your website? On Jed's website, there's prints by, I don't even remember the list of names. There's William Francis, Steve Winiecki, Cal Carlisle. Oh, Camilo, yeah, I didn't see those. And for those not in the know, what Jed's been doing since 3 or 4 years back, after Mokuhankan got too busy to do all his work, Jed has been cultivating, and that's the best word, cultivating a whole new group of printmakers. Hiring them to do simple work at first, and then gradually more and more complicated. And Jed's putting the money on the table. He hires these people, even though they are not full-fledged craftsmen yet and can't make a living at it. Jed is putting the money on the table to get these guys up and running. I think he's a bit worried that I'm too old and I'm going to disappear tomorrow and that there will be nobody to do the work. So. Someone says, hopefully the Ukiyo-e Heroes will restock soon. We did send Jed a whole pile of prints about a month ago. We sent over 200 prints to Jed of 13 different designs. So I think the Ukiyo-e Heroes are mostly back in stock now, except for the Hero Rests, which is here on my desk waiting to be checked. The, what's still missing? Dragon is missing. No. The campfire one, whatever it's called, Times Burn Bright. That's out being printed right now by Chiharu-san. Yeah, they're not all in stock. I think 15 of them are now back in stock. So. Someone's speaking about chrysanthemum prints. There's a tiny bit of news, if I can say this, on chrysanthemum prints. Yesterday, Ishikawa-san, the lady whose Mount Fuji print you just saw, Ishikawa-san, while she is waiting for the blocks for the April print, for the dragon print, while she's waiting for those blocks, she is practicing a run of the chrysanthemum print. And I don't mean the small version, I mean the big version. She has actually started. She did yesterday, she did the white on the face, and she tried testing the key block. And she's like, oh my God, I can't do this. And I'm like, hee 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 hee. So no promises, but stand by. It is actually happening. Snow at Funibori, I can't get the blocks for that one. At the moment, Doihanga, we had the blocks here. We just did a batch. Doihanga took them back, and it's being reprinted right now by Yamamoto Shun, the carver who works for us sometimes. He also works for Doi. He's currently working on Snow at Funibori. So when we get it back here, it won't be our printing. It'll be the version from Doi. We'll see. We'll see. And as soon as I can get the blocks back, we will then do our own version. Okay, so it's chiritori today. We signed them, we embossed them the other day. Today the work is simply now going to be chiri. So it's surgery. So it will be interesting or not, as your viewpoint is. I'm sorry, I have to do this today. One by one, go through these prints and pull out the worst examples of dots. And some you'll be able to see and some you won't. Okay, let's have a go at this. Let's get the camera set up. Where's the scope spot? Let's find one to use as an example and get the scope set up. There it is. There's one right there. That's going to be our spot. And I think we'll need light balance again. Try again. And people are wondering, like, should I really be doing this? The thing is, over the last, since the last stream, since Saturday, I've had 2 claim emails, people who got prints and are claiming. And the dots that were in the prints are just about this scale. Just about this scale. So I think I have created a monster here. If I had never talked about this stuff, this bark that was in the prints, perhaps nobody would be complaining about it. But because I have talked about it and made it a big deal, now everybody who gets one of our prints is grabbing a microscope or a magnifying glass and looking at the prints. And if they can find a microscopic dot, they are complaining. And I can't, like I said, I've created that monster myself, so I don't know what to say, what to do. Let's try and find an example of real surgery, pulling something out from inside. This particular batch is really not all that bad. Okay, now that one, this is the one we're just taking off here. This is not the papermaker's problem. This is a tiny piece of a brush hair. So this is from the printer. That's left over from the printer. And if the printer had been really careful, she would have taken that off. Can't blame the papermaker for that one. Well, again, people are saying it's character. There are roughly 2 kinds of customers out there. People who say, yeah, I like the handmade character, and there's people who complain about the defects. And if I knew which customer was which when I sent them out, I could choose. But I don't know who is who. Again, someone's asking, is it really an issue? I have 2 claims, 2 people who want return prints. Here, okay, so the one you just saw was no big deal, but look at this. Suppose you received this print and it's like this. This is maybe a different story. What about this? This is a defect inside the paper. There's no way, with the price we pay for this paper and the reputation of this paper, there's no way that should be there. The other question is, why don't I cull the sheets before we make the prints? It's just impossible. Every sheet has stuff like this. Most of the time it gets buried in the design somewhere and you don't see it. It's only those times it pops up out into the sky. Again, somebody says I wouldn't care. Well, if I knew which one you were when you ordered the prints, it would help, but we don't know that. This is inside the paper. So we're going to try. We're peeling back the top layer of paper fiber. To expose the bark. This is a big piece of bark. This is a big, big piece of bark, a massive piece of bark. I don't know if this is going to be successful. We may lose this one, actually. There's no way the paper here is going to come back 100% clean, but it's going to come back hopefully simply a light. There will be a defect there, but it will be a light colored defect rather than a big black blob. Look at this paste in there now. Now it's wet. Okay. That's wet. You can still see it, but after that dries, it won't be something that jumps into your eye. If I have the light, you can still see it because it's wet. Show right there. Once that dries now, that will be next to invisible. Yeah, this is on the thin paper, and when I sent it to her, I waited for her phone call. I sent it to her on a, whatever, Monday or something. And on Tuesday, I waited by the phone because I knew she was going to be calling me. And she said, like, I forget the words, but it was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, that's what it is. You can feel that. I had to make the sizing really, really strong. They are not bad, This particular group is not anywhere near as bad as some of the groups we've had. We ship flat. We ship these flat. We never roll our prints, so we ship flat. That one was near the surface. That's okay. Coming up. Someone says the thinner the paper, the less the chance. I don't know. The downside is that the thinner the paper, the more chance there is that the chidi on the back is going to show through. When you've got good, rich, thick paper, there can be bark inside it that won't show all the way to the surface. But it's a stone. This is a grain of sand, a stone. It's an actual piece, a chunk of like silica. I just split it, broke it. There it is. This is not bark, this is crap. Yeah, someone Mike says we've had people put them under microscopes. This is not normal, of course, not most people, but we have had people put the stuff under a scope, send me back an image with all the stuff circled in red. I found these specks. I found these specks. I can't. Whatever, no complaints. I'm not even upset when somebody makes a claim about this. I'm not upset. They want perfection, and I've sort of semi-promised perfection, which we can't do. So I'm the one who's an idiot here. I've made a big deal about this. As you do, this is just the kind of work I want to do this morning. I am tired. The last few days have been really go days for me, late hours too. Because of the timing on that, the flea market stuff, I had to stay up till about 1 o'clock last night, unusual. I'm normally in bed by 10:30. So for me, an extra 2.5 hours up last night was no fun. So I'm an old guy, so I want to get my sleep. Someone says we left a little scar there. Some of them do have indeed a little scar. It's a tiny little white scar in a white field, and it's not going to catch anybody's eye. We have to get rid of the stuff that catches the eye. She's done a nice job again, though, you know. She has done a really, really, really nice job. My God. She's got such a rich blue on here, you know. This is Chiharu-san. She has done a very, very nice job. Someone says they're angry. What have I done wrong now? Have I said something wrong? What have I said wrong to make you angry? I don't know. You're talking about the customer service level and stuff. With us, it's a no questions asked. If anybody, under any circumstances, if they don't like the print they receive from us, we'll happily refund them, of course. I mean, it's not on the web page, money back, whatever, but we just, common sense, do this. You know, if somebody's not happy, course, that's just the normal way these days, you know. And I'm not even bitching. When people complain, I'm not complaining that they're complaining. You know, I've set myself up for it. So I'm okay. I'm sorry. I'm not actually complaining today. This is work I have to do. So let's get it done. So I was asking, is this the paper we stocked in the past? We rotate the paper. Most of the paper sleeps here for at least 2 years before we use it. The next batch of paper that comes in, whatever, next month or so, there'll be another batch coming in. It will not go into production right away. The paper sleeps for at least a couple of years. And I've heard very differing stories on this from paper makers, from old printers, from our own experience. It really does seem that the paper develops a bit of strength and structure over time, at least the first couple of years or so. And this is anecdotal evidence. Absolutely, this is anecdotal. But rather than use the paper straight from the maker, to let it sit in your workroom there for a couple of years does really seem to be beneficial. Now, there's no way I can test this actually in practice. Next batch of paper comes, okay, take a couple of sheets out, take a couple of sheets from our 2 years ago stock, size them and print them. Sounds like a good test, But no, there's so much variation between batches of prints anyway. Huge amounts of variation between batches of prints that there's no way I have any way to test this. Look at this. There's a massive, massive piece of bark inside here. I'm never going to be able to get it out. You probably can't see it actually. It's a dark clump inside. Look at this. Nothing visible from the front, but look at this. There it is. Nothing on the front, and it's right there just below the surface. A massive piece. So if the person holds it under the light like this and looks at it, they're not going to see anything. If it's on the mat, a lighter colored mat, they're going to see it because it's going to show against the white mat. But if I take it out, that's going to leave a hole that will show on the mat. So the only way to fix this one, and I think I'm just going to pass on it, the only way to fix this one is to cut from the back, take out the massive lump, and try and fill in with enough white mulberry fiber cut from another sheet of paper and fill it in. Crap. Honey crap. Chup chup chum, chup chup chum, chup 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 chum. This one was the paper. This was a thread. That was a little chunk of a thread in there. When they're couching the paper, they dip their screen in, then they shake the water off, and they flip it over, and they couch the paper. They put the screen on a stack, pull the screen off, and go back to dipping. And on top of each sheet of paper, they put a long, thin thread at the edge, so that when they couch the next screen on the next sheet on top of it, they'll be able to tease them apart with the thread. And he uses a kind of a specific blue thread, and it sheds fibers. And there's one of those fibers, was just right there. And yes, I have asked him about it, and he's like, we'll think about it. Okay, whatever. It never ends, eh? It never ends. I don't want to cooperate. So Someone says this was a nightmare to do in your 100 Poets series. Back then, all that time ago, the paper wasn't that bad. Back in the old days. No, I'm actually not so unhappy here. This specific batch of paper we're working with here, it's extremely thin. The printers were fighting with it, but the level of bark in this particular batch is actually not so bad compared to some of the stuff we've had. So I'm not actually in a bad mood here. I'm not complaining here. I've just got to go through and find the worst examples to try and avoid people being unhappy with it. That's all. Wrong way. Wrong way. Okay. No, I'm not so bad today here. This is okay. Once I'm done with this morning, I am then a shipper. I know there's two things happening. We've had nearly 24 hours now of our what we called our flea market in Matsuri, our little sale of not sale, but our little promotion of older prints. And there's tons of orders yesterday. So my job today now, myself and Watanabe-san, it's all hands on deck today for shipping prints, of course. So we have a FedEx box. A FedEx pickup is scheduled for early this afternoon. FedEx will be coming to take hundreds and hundreds of prints out of here, and then we start the next batch. So if you were one of the people who put an order in yesterday for one of the prints from the antique corner of our website, most of those will be shipped today. The ones that don't go today will be shipped tomorrow. So we're actually on top of this. We've been preparing for this. Everything's ready. So if you did order prints yesterday, or today, whatever part of the world you're in, they will be leaving the building probably today and tomorrow at the latest. And the antique part of our shipments, they come from Asakusa. When you order a print that's made by Mokuhankan, it comes from our Ome shipping center. But the antique prints are stocked and stored here in Asakusa because we have to curate them and take care of them. So I'm a shipper, and starting here at 10 o'clock this morning, I am a shipper. Yesterday I was an order clerk, today I'm a shipper. And also I'd like, if possible, a bit of feedback. We tried something new this time. We staggered the starting times, and I think that there are some people who are unhappy with this because it meant staggering the starting time still meant that at least 3 times there was a whole bunch of people chasing the same print at the same time. And I'd like to get a bit of feedback on one feature of the website, the timeout. When you go to the flea market section of our website, you can browse, and because the prints are only 1 copy of each, we have to have a system in place where not 2 people can't buy them at the same time. So our shopping cart has a timeout feature. If somebody puts a print into their shopping cart, it's timed out and nobody else can touch it. If they go ahead and buy it, that was it. They got it first. But if they decide not to buy it, how long should the timeout period be? And at the moment, it's set to 20 minutes. And I've had feedback both ways, that that's not enough time to finish my shopping and get it done. And the feedback from the other people is, that's too long to allow somebody to hold it. Someone says 5 minutes. We can't do that because you couldn't get through. you could put one thing in the shop. By the time you get through to PayPal and back out, you can't really do that in 5 minutes. So for me, 20 is a compromise. This one here too. It's inside the body of the paper, and if you look at it from a certain angle, you may not even see it. Well, most angles you can. I think what I could maybe know which way to go through here, from the front or from the back. We can't leave this one. It's right there, right on the wave. There's no way we can leave this one. But can I get it out without leaving too much damage? Cross your fingers. Nurse, prepare the anesthesia. This one's going to depend on the chitty itself. If it is a clean piece of chitty, I think we'll be able to get this out of here. If it's one of those that's messy and broken up and it's more dirt, this will be trouble. But let's have a go here. Okay, so far, flap has come up. It's dirty, not good news. It's going to break up into millions of pieces. Ow! The glue / paste we're using here is the same paste we use for our printing, so there's absolutely no trouble here from the paste side of things. You know, I think, look at this, I think we've actually done this one. I wasn't thinking that it would come. I think we've got it. I was going to pass. It's a tiny bit wet now. This is a wet spot. It's like a wet spot on the sheet. It'll go away. It's okay. We've got it. We've got it. The big black mess is gone. What you're seeing now still, that's water. You're seeing wet spot. It's good. Good to go. Good to go. Good to go. Should we put the sign outside? Brain surgery while you wait. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. All of those of you who were saying, oh, let's just leave it. It's okay. It looks like a handmade print. Yeah, right. This one's right on top. This could be perhaps from the printer being careless. I don't know. No, it's bark. But this is right on top. The thing about this is now this has been pressed in because this area was printed with color. This little piece of crap. Oh, I think we're okay. Look at this. We're okay. That could have been from our workshop. If the printer was careless, a little bit of scrap gets on there and she rubs it from the back, in it goes. Can't blame the paper maker for that one. That could be us. Well, the printers do work cleanly. Now, if you've seen Suga-san's bench, you've seen the thing in the last video or so. She's got that zone around her where there's no crap, and these people are clean, much cleaner than Dave is. And in Ome myself, when I was a full-time printer, my house was messy, my body was messy, but my printing zone, I kept it clean. You can't be a good, consistent printer and have crap all over your desk, your printing bench. You can't do it. So it's not clean room like making electronics clean room, but we keep clean, What's this? Talking about living national treasure. No, please change the subject. Not going to happen. That's not how it's done in Japan. We are not the kind of place, and I'm not the kind of person that would be recognized that way. It's just, that's not how it works. So please. Yeah, looking good, looking good, looking good. There will indeed be show and tell. Yes, of course there's show and tell. I've got a stack of show and tell. Way too much show and tell. This one I think is easy. On the back side, it's near the front. This one only shows up from the front through the light. This is going to come off straight away, I think. Yeah, on the back side, it's a big lump. This is one that shows as a shadow from the front. And this is the kind of chiri that's really incredibly difficult for the paper makers to pull out. Some of the chiri is black, it's dark, and some of it is white. It's just a clump of the white bark. So when they're picking this stuff up in the water, it's invisible, absolutely invisible. There's no way I can chew them out for that. There's no human being could have been able to see that. What happened to the haircuts? The lady who does it broke her shoulder blade or something. She fell on the ice and it broke her arm. We're okay. I am fairly happy with these. I am fairly happy. This could be way worse. We've had it way, way, way worse than this. It's an actual piece of wood. It's a piece of the wooden bark. Look at that, straight out. Again, because it's white, it was really, really difficult for them to see it. It's hard for me. I mean, I'm frustrated by this situation, but it's hard for me to be angry with these people. They really are trying hard to do a good job. They don't have enough people to do the job. There's low demand for their product. They can't automate any of this. So there's no question of being upset with the paper makers. It's just simply frustrating, that's all. Someone's asking, the big slab of lumber I bought to dry a while back, is it usable? I don't have any idea which one. I mean, this is an ongoing process for us now. And in fact, as we move into spring now, March and April, we are going to be buying a lot more. We've got various slabs of wood drying all over the place. And Aoyama-san, sometime this week actually, we're scheduled for this. It's another time of year when we go back to slice up some of our larger pieces for another year of drying. You know, that we first chop them up into big chunks where they dry for a couple of years. Then when it comes time, the big chunk gets sliced into little thin slabs for the last stage. And next week is when we will be slicing up the next current batch of slabs. So I don't have any specific answer. That specific one, I don't know. Aoyama-san is really good at this. He keeps numbers and lot numbers and batch numbers and dates on all of this stuff. So when we do get something down on my bench and we're learning this is good or this is not so good, he can trace back the piece of wood that I'm carving to which slab it came from. So he's controlling that really well. You know, the piece of wood that is this block, when he made the plates, he kept track of all the numbers. He's got dates and numbers and stuff on it all. So we're trying to control it. Yeah. It's inside. Might be safer to get this one from the back. Not visible, John. This is very visible. Sorry. It's very visible. This is very visible. There's no way I can leave that one. Someone says, leave it? What? In the most critical part of the wave? Like what? It's visible if you shine a flashlight. It's also visible if you put the thin paper onto a white mat board. This is the problem. It's not just holding it against the window. It also looks like a solid chunk that should come out easily. I mean, 1 or 2 minutes work. What's it worth, you know? 1 or 2 minutes work. You know, I know I'm a sort of control freak, but that's worth the 2 minutes that it took to do that. It really is. I'm sorry. You have another one just like it. Look at this. This one I might leave. Let's have a look at this. It's almost exactly the same situation. Front seems clear. It's only when you lift up. This one I might leave because this one really doesn't show from the front. There's another one there. This one I might leave, but it's the same situation. It's probably going to show more from the back. It does. It shows more from the back, but I really don't think anybody's going to be displaying these from the back. Actually, I think I can get this one from the back easily. I think I can get it. Yeah, it's right there. It's just right there in the back. Yeah. Look at this. Here we go. Straight out. Flap down. Come on. Right. I see someone's talking about bug legs. Did we clear up what happened there? Remember, this was a couple of months back when I was sizing. We saw some little angled little pieces of stuff in there, and it really looked like a cockroach leg. Do you remember this episode? I don't remember if I updated you on what happened. That was while we were sizing. So when the paper became wet, it became transparent. And we can see that angled, and it was a cockroach leg. And I myself, I was sure, yeah, we got a cockroach leg in there. A cockroach must have died and fell in the bucket and blah, blah, blah. I don't remember if I updated you. When it came time to down here to slice that paper and send it to the printer, I hunted for those two things, because one of them was at the edge of the sheet and one was in the middle. I hunted them up. It wasn't cockroach. It was just mulberry fiber, thin mulberry fiber, and it just happened to be angled exactly that same way. So I felt I had insulted Iwano-san's workshop. You know, it's full of bugs, full of roaches. And it wasn't a cockroach. It was just a piece of mulberry fiber. I must have forgotten to talk about it when we came back a few days later or something. But all of us, you guys watching as well, and me who did it, it looked exactly like an insect leg. No, we were wrong. Okay, here's one. I'd like to take it out, but I can't. There's one here. There's no way I can get this out because of the structure of what it is. One, it's in the paper. It doesn't show too bad. This is not a single, like a clump. This one is a blob, and it goes out and out. And what this is a long, thin, feathered piece of mulberry. There's a clump of it, and it feathers out and feathers out. And there's no way it will come out in a single. And to do surgery here means a centimeter long cut, and we'd never, ever, ever get it back without a mark. So this one is staying. There's no way I can get that out without doing more damage than we see. So this is going to go into that group of prints. Remember, we talked about this before. There's the prints that we will wrap up and send out to people who've been on the waiting list for 99 years. Then there's prints like this one, where I didn't want to send it to somebody who's going to open it and say, I've been waiting so long. Oh, but wait, there's a dot there. But that dot, to me, this is not anywhere near the level that will destroy the print. So this print will go in the shop when the shop opens. And people will browse and they will look, yeah, the Great Wave. And they can see it and choose it and take it to the counter. And I got a little bit of static before last time we talked about this. Why are you selling defects? We don't sell defects, but there's perfect, there's okay, and somewhere there's a line. And sometimes that line is a tiny bit vague, of course. Here's one, total crap, but that's going to be trimmed off. That will be on the outside of the paper that will be trimmed. We have another one here. This is totally okay. There's a clump of white mulberry fiber here which shows us a bump. And it looks like a shadow when you look through the light at the back. But that's completely invisible under any normal circumstances. And I cannot get that out without taking damage. That's okay. We're good. I am happy today. This batch of paper is nowhere near as bad as I expected. I am a happy camper, actually. you know, there's 60 sheets here, and I will be able to tell Cameron probably maybe like 55 of them are going to be okay or something. I don't know. This one too, the thing that's in there is white, so it would have been very difficult for the paper makers to see it. It's quite a big one. Look at this. That's a piece of wood bark. This is exactly the kind of one that people complain about. This is exactly what people complain about. Not so sure about this one. Not so sure. Not so sure about that one. We'll see when we take our second pass. If it catches my eye on the second pass, we'll see. Someone's asking about the Ninja Death experience. I have not seen a customer up there, no, and I'm not sure if they're really serious about it or not. The Ninja Boys themselves. Okay, this one. Okay, this is out. This one is out. Just not even close. We're done. This one is done. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not. It's really visible to the person who looks at the print, but I'm not so sure if it's going to show in the light. It's when they made the sheet of paper, there must have been something. The guy must have taken his finger and tried to fool around with the sheet of paper as he was making it, because there's a massive screw up in the fiber. So you see it? You can probably see it. It sort of looks like no big deal, but actually on the front it really is disruptive. It's showing shadows. You can perhaps see there's shadows on the front. If that was just by itself, maybe sort of we could pass it. I don't know. I wouldn't want to, but it's not just there. It's other places here. Look. See this? That's visible. That's a bump on the front of the print from a clump of fiber inside. And actually, I'm disappointed. Chiharu-san, the girl who printed this, she should actually have just taken this sheet and thrown it aside. And maybe even at the sizing side, I should have thrown this sheet aside. There's no way we can send this. It's not a black dot, but it's massive. So we lose one. Out she goes. Someone says, is this supposed to be their premium paper? It is their premium paper, but they are people. They are, you know, normal people working hard, the same as me. I make woodblock prints. If I make a batch of 100 prints, there's no way I'm going to get 100. There's no way. Okay, we got a couple more here too as well. Look at this. This will come out, but there's another one right beside it. Moist paper towel on a hot iron? I don't think so. I know if it was just a crease in the paper, that's okay, but that's not just a crease in the paper. That the defect that you saw was a clump of hard stuff inside the paper. So your hot iron and stuff are not going to do it. If it was just a crease, yeah, maybe. How's our time? Oh, it's show and tell time. Okay, one sec. Let me finish this one then. Hang on. Let me just do this one and then we're done. Okay, this one turned well. We got both of those very nicely. Very nice. Invisible mending. Sometimes. Sometimes completely invisible. Okay, enough of this. Enough of this. Actually, I'm about halfway through the stack, and that's probably all I'll do today. Half of these prints can go to Ome today. Enough to get them started on the shipping. Well, the Ninja Death Trap, I don't, if I put the outside camera up just for a moment here, if we pop the outside camera up, the Ninja experienced people, they are hanging ropes from the top of their building and they are occasionally rappelling down. And they have said they're going to do it with customers. I haven't seen that yet. The white building with the flags, there are black ropes hanging down from the top. And they say they are going to offer this experience to customers, but I haven't seen that happen yet. No idea. No idea. No idea. Okay, we have so much stuff here to show that I don't even know where to start. So we don't need to show it all, of course. A couple of things. Well, let's just show what we can show, and stuff we don't get to, we'll get to next time. Don't worry about it. First, Nanda. Won't. Back on. Look at this thing. Cameras. Okay, first an update. The bath, you saw me bathing some prints the other day. It was the group of prints from the year of the mouse, the year of the rat. Those prints have now found, oh God, look at that color balance. Let's try that one more time. Okay, camera, cooperate, please. It's worse. Got the one moment when I need you. Is that going to do it? Looks like that might do it. Okay, let me get the outside cameras down a bit. Yeah, we have to mess with settings all the time. It just doesn't do the automatic thing at all. Let me get this out of the plastic. Okay, these are the prints, page after page after page. These are the first batch of prints that came out of the bath the other day. These prints have all been in the bath. You can see some of them where they picked up the very bad I know, aging and toning over the years. These are from, they're all dated. This group was Showa 11. Showa 11. I think the shininess of the plastic is causing trouble here. Damn it. This was the year of the mouse, and they came out very, very beautifully. They came out absolutely beautifully. There's no damage on the back. They were glued at the four corners. There is almost no residue left on the prints. I'm just so happy. We don't always have a completely successful outcome when we put prints in the bath, but this time we did. And page after page after page. So this is about 3 pages. No, it's 4. I cut 1, 2, 3, 4. I cut 4 pages from that album, and we see them here. And these prints have now been saved. They will not degrade any further than this. I'm very, very happy to have been able to get them to this stage. So some of the people on chat know what happened here. These were actually underwater in hot water a couple of days ago. They were soaked in water to come off their backing sheets. And in fact, to show you exactly, I still have the album on my desk here. And we never did get, this is the same album that we looked at. The first 2 pages have been chopped out, and you now see the prints in that album. So the prints you just looked at were the first 2 pages of this book. And we went through it page by page, bit by bit over the past few weeks, and we didn't get to the last section. And the last section is some stuff to die for. We got as far as the 5 ladies. They will be coming off soon, and there's lots more in the book that we didn't even have a look at. The next set of prints is a set of 30 designs, remake, reused from Hokusai images. Everything you see on these particular pages comes from Hokusai. They've taken from the Hokusai manga or other works of his. And this is not really done very artistically. And I think this is not a professional artist doing this. This is group members saying, I want this, I want this, I want this. And they've simply taken cuts, little pieces of some kind of a Hokusai image and made up a full set of them. So there's no artistic thing here. There's no balance. There's nothing. The colors are random. And this isn't a very pleasing set at all. Everything came from a Hokusai original, but there's no attempt to make any kind of cohesive setup. So this set to me is a little bit disappointing. Each individual match label can be an attractive object, but they just haven't done their job properly on making a nice set. And this is exactly designed by committee. 30 people just choosing one that they want. It's just, that's exactly what would have happened. Each person chooses, well, let me show this one, let me show this one. So for me, that's not a successful project at all. But there it is. 30 designs ripped off from Hokusai. This one is more fun. This is a set of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 10 with 2. These are the 2 statues that used to be in the Neomon gate just before Sensoji Temple. This is done very nice. I really like this style. They have done this very, very, very nice. This set is dated also. It's dated as Showa 8. This is a few years earlier than the prints we just saw. Showa 8. It's the 2 statues outside the temple, and then there's 10 of the plaques, the Emma plaques that you see hanging inside shrines. And I think we've got historical episodes here. I'm not quite sure. I haven't had a chance to study this yet. I think what we have here is 10 historical episodes. I'm not quite sure. Neomon is gone. Neomon is where Hozomon is now. When you start at Kaminarimon and come up past the row of shops, the large gate you get to now is called Hozomon, and that's used to be Neomon, but it burned down in the air raids. And when it was replaced, they replaced it with a different name. They built a new name, Hozomon. And I'm told that upstairs in that gate, that's the library of their sutras. All their printed and hand-drawn sutras for Sensoji Temple are upstairs in the library room in the Hozomon. This is the gate between Kaminarimon and Sensoji Temple. This is a set of summer greetings. It's also dated Showa 8, and there are 12 prints in the set, and they are summer greetings. They're just meant to show a taste of coolness in the middle of a hot summer. The era names in Japan are chosen by the cabinet secretary, and there's a committee behind him that makes recommendations on certain names based on historical patterns. This set we've seen before. It's a very sad set. It's called The 3 Human Bombs. It was an episode in the invasion of China when Japan, 3 guys went through with carried a explosive device, blew up the Chinese lines. We've got these prints in our collection somewhere else, and this is a sad story. I don't want to get much into it. In that day, they were heroes. They were propaganda heroes, whether they were just little kids or what, I don't know. This next one is fun. Completely different change of mood. This one is fun. It's a set of, what is it? It's a set of 8. It's a hakke. And what we have is Araware no Yume Hachi. It's not K, 8 something. Araware no Yume. What's that going to mean? It's going to mean wonderful dreams or whatever. And we've got, and this is actually, I think this is a little bit embarrassing, whatever. We've got prints, 8 prints purporting to show what a young lady should be dreaming about. And this is nothing I have any, this is 1920s, 1930s. This young lady is dreaming, of course, of marriage. This young lady is dreaming of, well, a trip with somebody. This young lady's more practical. I guess she either wants to go to the ballet or she wants to be a ballet dancer. You tell me. I don't know. It's not Chida, it's Ota. And Ota is the name of the man who sponsored the set. Oda. He was one of the main collectors. In fact, you see his name on many of these sets. He owned a stationery store during this era, and he was one of the main big wheels in this whole match label Senshafda area. And he would have sponsored this set himself. I'm not sure. That looks like a bath, I think. That's a water bath and water. This lady is just simply dreaming of getting into a hot bath, I think. I'm not sure what she's dreaming of. It looks like a festival with lanterns. But this looks like a Maiko geisha. I'm not sure. Perhaps that's what she wants to do. Or she's remembering the day when she was in that position. I'm not sure what this lady is dreaming about. And she's actually in bed dreaming. And I can't really quite tell. Has she just received a wedding ring or something? You tell me. What is her dream? I have no idea. The X is the pillow. It's simply the X mark at the end of her pillow. What is this lady dreaming about? Pet porcupine? I don't know. Something shiny. So whatever the obvious guess would be, you know, the guess would be she's got her ring or something. I don't know. I have no idea. More straightforward. She just wants a partner, I guess. I don't know. No idea. I think this is a bit different. That's that's some kind of Packard car in the back. This is 1920s. This is the roaring 20s. So I think this lady is dreaming of a rich sugar daddy, and I don't know. It's a little snapshot on what some group of people thought was what a woman should be dreaming about or attaining or something. I don't know how seriously to take this. Araware no yume hachi. I can't read the second character here. I'm sorry. I don't know. That's the snapshot on the Taisho era, but very nice, beautiful little woodblock prints. And this is all happening at the same time. Is it Sugata? Thank you, Washabinsky. How would you pronounce it? Hachi Sugata. What would the pronunciation be? Thank you. We've seen this set before because I have this set upstairs in another album. It's sports time. This could have been when Japan was getting ready for the Olympics. I'm not quite sure. And we have, you can barely see it. It's done in gold powder. And then the prints are made in silver powder. And we have simply 8 sports. 10, what are the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sets of 12. And this would have been, I think, in the years running up to the Japanese Olympics that were going to happen in the 1930s or 40s, which didn't come off, didn't happen for obvious reasons. And these are fun. And this is all, when you move the paper, of course, it shines at different angles. Why are they skeletons? Just for fun. Why are they skeletons? It's aluminum powder. It's aluminum powder printed on glue. And what they would have probably have done is, this is a sheet of paper. First they printed the blue background. They do them in groups, of course. And then on top of the blue background, you get a block carved the same way that we normally carve our blocks. And for pigment, they would have used aluminum powder mixed with glue. It's no big deal. It's very, very simple. I don't like it myself. It's not silver, it's aluminum. And as a result, it doesn't tarnish. Kind of cool. Another group of ladies. Another set of 12. Not dreams this time. Just simply, oh, these are summer. It's a group of ladies. It's called Bijin Juni, and we might have the same kanji there. Is it the same kanji? Sugata? I don't know. And this is Natsu no Maki, or the pronunciation would be whatever. It's the characters literally are Natsu no Maki, the volume for summer. So these are images of women in their summer attire. Very nicely done. This is Oda-san. He just spent so much money. He was the big wheel. He must have just loved to do this, buy the stuff and show off and give them to his friends. Huge numbers of these sets were sponsored by Oda-san. I think we saw the same lady back in the Dream series. There's lots of damage. You know, these are old pieces of paper that were not stored well, so they've got to come off this sheet, and they will be. These sheets are all heading for the bath when I get a minute, when I get time. These ladies are all heading for the bathtub. Not today or tomorrow. We've got so much going on right now, but they're all heading for the bathtub. It's 9:30, but let's just chew through this to show. Let's get this thing done. This one is fun. I've seen this set before, and this is fun. You'll have to excuse the errors here. We have a tour around the globe of 12 countries. It's going to pick up a bit better light here. Let's try it and see what happens. And they're all numbered. Number 1 is Japan, China, oops, Russia, Russia. And they're done in a style. This is not ukiyo-e drawing. This, what it is, it's cursive. It's O-O-D-A in cursive writing. Show Oda. Whoops. Whoops, 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 whoops. Well, hey, you know, R's and L's in Japan, they're tough. Itari, Itari. And the country name here is German. But I don't think we are in Germany. Aren't we in New York? I don't know. Where are we in that picture? I know, I get what it is. The Germans had the Hindenburgs and all these airships, but I think we're actually in America. Is it Berlin? Did they have skyscrapers that tall in the 1930s in Berlin? Maybe, I don't know. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have guessed so, but I could be wrong. This one is interesting. They have used the katakana phrase for this. It says Oranda, which is the word they use for Holland, of course. Talk about R's and L's. Oh well, win some, lose some. I think France, I think that was the Arc de Triomphe, is it? Are we looking down at Paris? This must be the Champs-Élysées, show, with all the trees. This would be the Champs-Élysées, and that would be the arch, I think. Not quite sure. And then we have not America, but we have American. American. A fun set. A fun set. Totally different in the way of drawing and carving and printing than most of the sets that we see. Okay, we have page after page after page. There's tons more, you know. Well, whatever. Let's look at a bit more. Let's look at one more set. The rest, there's big sets coming up. Let's just look at one more small set. I sure wish this camera would handle automatic better. This is a set of 12 views of Tokyo, and this is a riff on Shin-hanga prints. And the very first one we see here is a riff on the Shin-hanga design by Hasui of Nihonbashi. It's of course Nihonbashi. But the other 12 are in no way as artistically interesting. They have just taken scenes. This is the Niju Bashi, of course, in front of the palace. And they're really not artistically interesting. Maybe in 1920 this was a real big deal to see the main post office building or whatever it is, but it's not so interesting now. They're pleasantly made, but they're just not well done images. And this was brand new. This is the new Ginza Line subway. The first parts of it were built in 1927. So at the time this print set was made, this is brand new stuff. The first subway in Asia. We know where this is, 47 or 46 graves all in a row. This is the graves of the what we know as the 47 Ronin. Only 46 of them are there. One guy got away. One young boy was left to go. Yeah, the Ginza line, they've kept the same color, and actually at the moment they have some retro carriages they have built. It's too bad. They prepared these about 3 years ago, ready for the Olympics. There are some special carriages running on the Ginza line, which are replicas of the original era carriages, but done with modern safety materials and stuff like this. This is Asakusa, of course. And this would be, which is the bridge? It's the bridge down at Kachidoki. Oh no, I forget the name of the bridge. Excuse me a sec, if I can look it up here. It's on the print. One sec. Kiyosubashi. It's one of the most beautiful bridges in Tokyo. This doesn't look like anything special here, but when you are out there on the river on one of the boats, this bridge is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's also very low, and this is one of the bridges where they have to clear people off the top deck of the water buses when we go back and forth. Yeah, Eitaibashi. It's touch and go. I get you. I'm with you, John. I'm with you. Eitaibashi is also very nice. So, what should we do? What should we do? What should we do? Tell you what, there's lots more match labels in big series. Too much to rush through. So let's do something a little bit different. We've got a couple of minutes. Let me put this away. We'll save this. And I want to open a box and show you what it is. We've seen some beautiful prints. I want to open this for you guys today. And we talked about this the other day. I gave you a link to the auction. We said that we have here at Mokuhankan, we have a hall of shame. And this is something that is going to go into our hall of shame. So why would I bother showing it to you? Just because it's going to be so much fun. No green tape. No green tape. Okay, we've seen the best. Now let's see the rest. We have here a set of Tokaido prints. Let's get open first. Worry about the light next. Let me get it open first. We have here a set of Tokaido prints, and I'm not quite sure when they were made. Hopefully we'll learn more about them when we get inside here. And they are about the worst group of woodblock prints I think I have ever seen. I saw them on the auction. They got passed. Nobody really wanted them. And when you see them, you will understand why. But I actually thought it would be useful to have these in our collection. I bought them. Relax, relax, relax. I bought them. It's one of these accordion books. Everything is on one page. Let me try and get them up and then find a light balance. Hang on a sec. We'll get the camera set. One moment. That's not where it starts. Where does it start? That's the end. It must start the other way around. 1 second, please. Here we are. Hang on a sec, just a minute. Let me get to this. This camera really these days does not behave. It doesn't get any worse than this. I can't believe people actually took the trouble to actually make this and put this out into the market. You're seeing woodblock prints, carved and printed. Why? Dear God, why? Why would they actually bother to put this into the marketplace? It looks like someone's got it. Please go back to the unfocused version. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. People made this. They actually put pieces of paper onto boards and rubbed on the back. And I tell you, if I took an elementary school class and said, let's make some woodblock prints tomorrow, we couldn't do any worse. They're woodblock prints. They're pasted on. The print comes here. The print comes to the edge here, and it's pasted onto the central board. And I'm astonished. I had to get this. It was like $10. So don't yell at me for wasting money or something. I just had to get this, to have this in our collection side by side. And what I cannot understand is who this was targeted at. I could maybe expect they were thinking, look, let's sell this to those dorky foreigners. They don't know what they're buying. There was some of that sort of stuff. But this package is not even labeled in English. So, got it. John's got it. Woodblock prints for the blind. I don't know. I have no idea what we're seeing or why it was produced. Anything. I have no idea what group of human beings would ever make this. If it had been shown to me and said, Dave, here's some stuff. This is one of those tourist souvenirs that is not made in Japan. It's made in, fill in the country name where you want to see the country name made in. That I could believe. Made by people who just didn't have the slightest clue what woodblock prints were. So this is actually possible. So I don't know. I don't want to be sort of whatever. I don't know. I don't know where these were made, who made them, what they are. I don't want anything to do with them. But I can't ignore them. So I saw them on an auction there and thought I have to pick these up and put these in our collection. This is going to be the way. This is the way we'll leave off today. They even cut off the top. They didn't. Well, actually, maybe not. Maybe they poked it out and the person who made this album cut it off. I don't know. You know how the picture's supposed to go. No, it's not. The border is printed. I don't know. 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 Look at this one. Look at this. This is where we have to leave off today. This is where we have to leave off. Well, we've been doing this stream now for, what is it? It's 5 years, I think. We're almost up to 5 years of this stream. Tokaido emergency toilet paper. I don't know. Let's leave it there. Let's leave it. I'm going to be back. This is Thursday. I'll be back 2 more days, Saturday. And we're getting closer. The wood, I can show you this. The wood, oh, it's right here. The wood that's ready for the surfer girl is here and ready. We're getting closer to the moment when we are going to paste down and get started carving of that. It may be happening on Saturday. It may not be happening until next week. I'm not sure. Anyway, it is coming up very, very soon now. So, and then for the next month or a couple of months, this stream will be almost all of carving. So thanks for your patience on those of you who have put up with all the other stuff we've been doing for the past little while I am between carving jobs. Okay, there we have it. I am out of here now. I am going to be a packer and shipper. FedEx, here we come. Thanks very much to all those who have placed orders the last couple of days. There's been a ton of orders. It's made our February into a very, very bright, busy February. See you in a couple of days. Let's have a look at the outside, see what's going on. Getting busy. The Ninja Boys are setting up. Oh yeah, there they are. Oh no, that's the first students. The first Ninja students of the day are waiting on the bench outside. They must be waiting for a 10 o'clock start. Or is it the boys? Is it the boys who work in the Ninja factory there? I don't know. Anyway, they're getting set up. Okay, guys. Thanks very much. I'll see you in a couple of days from now. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. See you soon.